Today, I would like to talk about intelligence, artificial intelligence, human intelligence, and the ability to predict the future and to act about those predictions. Because without the ability to act on the prediction, being able to predict it doesn't make any change in the probability of survival of the species. So the idea that intelligence is one way to define it would be the ability to predict the future based on past experience, and that would be one thing which would distinguish like unicellular other form of life from supposedly more clever, more intelligent form of life. But at least in the case of climate change, it seems that humanity was able to predict quite accurately a subgroup of it, what would happen in 1972, but was unable really to act on it. It acted a bit, but not enough, and the realization is coming 50 years later when a lot of scientists consider it's too late already to avoid the worst of climate change, even though we can still try to change things. And I would connect it with the fashion of artificial intelligence which is going on. There was the first vague of artificial intelligence fashion in the 70s, and people were promising a lot of things. Then there was a winter of artificial intelligence and a new summer in the 90s, and then another winter of artificial intelligence and a rebirth in the 2015 or something like that. And every time what we can observe is some real success, some real advances in technical advances, but also some over-optimistic by the funding system. If you want to get funded, you need to be more optimistic and to promise more than your neighbors. And it brings to the kind of auction, like everybody needs to claim more than the neighbors and exaggerate and things like that. And that's not scientists being bad, that's just the system being bad and pushing scientists to react in one way. Come, and it's okay. People say that bubble, when they collapse, they still leave some things which are useful for the future. Albeit this one with the heavy computation load of large language model, it might leave little to be used in a world which has quite limited energy available. So the way I connect it with intelligence in general is that the ability to act on prediction seems to be limited by the system, the political government, the interaction of people. And that's something, that's a technological, a sociological innovation that we need to do. Even if we were getting like a new source of energy, a control fusion and so on, and this wouldn't pollute, we would have to anticipate the consequences. If anybody has unlimited access to energy, that opens the door to building a tunnel to the core of the Earth or even worse things. And the ability to act on those predictions. And in all of humanity, there haven't, maybe kings had an incentive for their dynasty to survive and to anticipate the future. Democracy by design almost doesn't have the ability to act on a very long term on the future without a tremendous effort of education to the population, which is a very hard problem, which might be another challenge. So the challenge for any human civilization which will survive the destabilization of climate might have some technological one about how to technologically survive a climate which is unstable, which is making things harder to live. But might be also a sociological one, how to organize people in solidarity, to collaborate, like humanity has been doing for all of humanity history. But how to, when you are able to make a prediction of the future, how to act upon it. And act upon it in the long term, with long-term actions for long-term prediction. Being able to do the long-term prediction is one thing, be able to act on it is another one which we didn't acquire. And I don't know how to do that. Just an interesting problem. And maybe that's one that we should solve now, when we still have the resources. Maybe that's a problem that we should solve now, when we have still a lot of resources from fossil energies and so on, and leave the terrain ready for future time where resources will be lower and people will be in emergency mode and just being able to use the solutions that are already available. So I'm curious about what sociology people think. I'm not aware about any concrete solution to this problem or even a concrete survey of what was done in the past which is better solving this problem of being able to put into action decision for the long term. Saying that the best example which comes to mind is royalty. Doesn't say much. I'm not in favor of too much of it. But maybe one structure for long term and one structure for short term and one structure for medium term, balance into a government for decisions would be a way to implement this. But that's the problem that